Channel, where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Now, yesterday we didn't get much coding done, but we did get a heart down there. So we need to add the enemy collision to our player so that we can get knocked back and lose a certain amount of health. So I'm not sure if I want to do a quarter heart or a half heart. I don't know. I think we probably could do... So a quarter heart at a time would be harder than a normal half heart, because with a half heart we can have the whole sprite and just chop the window of how much we're rendering depending on how much hearts we have. But if we go where we have like a quarter heart damage, we'd have to do it on a per sprite basis and kind of chop it out. Either chop it out or rebuild it with a certain amount of sprites. So I think we want the quarter hearts, as long as quarter hearts look okay. And then what we'll do is we'll make a heart instantiation, and that heart has 4 different settings, either full, 3/4, half, or a quarter. And then we can render the things appropriately, and then we just have to translate. Maybe that means our health is out of 1 heart is 4 health points, so that every health point is 1/4 of a heart. So I think the first thing we want to do, well, I can show you guys what we mocked up yesterday. So this is what we did instead of programming, is we mocked up a little UI for the HUD here. So I think we want to do, I think we want to look at what a quarter of a heart might look like. You know what, maybe we leave this up here. It is pixely because it was Game Boy resolution. But see, like that, why is that not pixely, but when I scale up the picture, it is? You know what, let me try to export this at a different scale. Maybe I can save it at a different scale. No. Scale, resize, yeah. So look, we do a export file into our pictures. We call it upscale, Tashio HUD mockup upscale, and we save it as a PNG, and we resize it by 400%. Is that way too big? Let's see what 400% looks like. So now instead of this one, it was all blurry, maybe we can go open our upscale, which is in our pictures, our upscale here, upscale. There we go, that's perfect. That's the exact size I wanted. So now we've got that a little more clear. And we can put this in the background here while we make the rest. Okay, so if we open up our heart, we'll see, and this is in Tashio Graphics heart. Okay, so I think our heart is 9x9. It looks, or maybe 7x7. Yeah, 7x7. So I guess it depends on which. We don't have it divisible by 4 here, but let's see what it might look like if we duplicate this and have this be 3/4. Let's do 0.75. So let's see what happens if we erase this many. That doesn't look like a quarter. That looks like... that doesn't look like a quarter. Yeah. It's because it's 7x7. We can't really have a nice clean chop of a 7x7 pixels. But if we make it any bigger, they don't fit on the HUD down here. I mean, we do have like 1 gap of space in between them and in between the top. So maybe we could go 9 by 9. Let's see what that might look like. We do a 9 by 9. Hey, K-Tronics, good to see you, dude. Did you end up testing your hardware or put some programming on there? I'm curious. I was curious about what you were saying about how you got that on there. You said you used some sort of tool to put the code on there? Oh, nice. I hope that's going well. That sounds interesting. Man, I really like the 7 by 7 heart. I'm not liking the 9 by 9 as much, but let's see. See, the 9 by 9 just looks too blocky on the sides to me. I think that's a nice middle ground, but maybe we just color it differently and we can make it look better. And then we'll see if this actually gets our purpose done. Let's see what it looks like if we... Actually, yeah, that isn't looking bad. Yeah. I guess when it's 1-to-1, it's a little hard to read as a heart because the butt crack of the heart doesn't come down as far. That's the scientific term. I work with doctors a lot, so I know how they refer to anatomy. Let's see what a quarter looks like. We chop out a quarter. See, and we can't... USB-A SP interface. All I think of is a Game Boy SP when I read that. USB plus an SP. But that's cool, dude. I want to look more into that. That looked really interesting what you were doing. Yeah, it's like because... It's like we have an odd number of pixels because we want the butt crack of the heart to be right in the middle of the sprite. But if we draw the heart like that, then when we cut out a quarter of the sprite for each health hit, it doesn't divide equally in half because it's an odd number. So it's just a little weird how we would cut out a quarter, because that doesn't look like a quarter. That doesn't look like a quarter. It's almost like we gotta make... I mean, that kind of looks like a quarter. Let's see what that looks like at 100%. I don't know, that doesn't look so good to me. That doesn't look like a quarter. Gosh. See, and then half, if we go that route, half looks like that, which is just weird. So it's almost like we do need to make it even. Let's see if we give it one, we split the difference here and we make our sprite sheet 8 by 8 instead of 7 by 7. But let me see. Yeah, this is weird. That doesn't look very good. It looks like a kidney bean. Yeah, it's like we definitely need that slot in the middle. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, we could just... See, but then even this, if we keep the 7 by 7, when we cut our heart in half, we have to either cut that much off, and yeah, actually that looks pretty good. That looks like half a heart. even though it's technically one more pixel than half, it looks pretty good. Because if we cut that much out, it doesn't look like a heart. But okay, so I'm thinking we want. I don't want to. I don't want to change mechanics based on how hard it is to make pixel art for a quarter of a heart. You know, so like, if we do want that route, like I think it kind of makes sense to have like weaker enemies only do a quarter of a heart damage, whereas stronger enemies might do half or whole heart depending on the enemy. So I think from that standpoint, I would want to do something like a quarter of a heart. It's just that it doesn't look that good the way I'm doing it. I'm curious how they do it in Link's Awakening. I wonder if they've got an example. Let me see here. Yeah, I wonder if they've got hearts here. They don't. Let me see real quick if they've got it here. See, the heart piece doesn't have the butt crack. It's more like the 8x8. But on their HUD here, it looks like it is tinier. Let's see. This is the exact picture we pulled last stream. Oh, well. Now I'm kind of second guessing myself. I'm not sure if these hearts did have a quarter damage or not in Link's Awakening. I'm not remembering. Yeah, it says 1/4 damage. So if they're doing this, this looks like 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this looks like a 7x7 heart like we've got. Not that, this. Actually, it's a 7, well... No, it's 9. It's 9 pixels. It's 9 pixels. I'm just curious how the quarter heart looks like on the 9 versus this 7, but we already tried that. It didn't look so great. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, that looks so bad. It looks like if AI drew it. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look as good to me as the 7x7 one. But what's worse is we can't even get it to look good in a quarter. Let's see if we take out this much. See, that doesn't really look like a quarter, maybe one less. Nope, that was the same. That looks so weird. doesn't look like a quarter of a heart. Gosh, my ear is itching. See, they kind of have... It's hard to tell because this isn't the true resolution. Looks like the butt crack might have 2 pixels. Gosh, it looks so bad. It looks so bad. I don't know. That's not looking as bad. No. That's not looking so bad. But I don't like the way that the quarter hearts look. That looks so weird. Because that's for sure half a heart. See, but then if there's a quarter heart left, it looks like that. That just looks so weird. Man, we might just go half heart, but I don't like that we would like change the mechanic because I can't make a quarter of a heart look good. I really like the 7 pixel heart. This one, I like that one. I think that's so clean. So I think what we're gonna do, let me see if adding 2 more highlights is, yeah, that ruins it. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll have 7 of these hearts in one sprite sheet, evenly spaced. And the trick is we have to set the drawing width dependent on our hearts. So if we have, we'd probably have to subtract a certain value times the amount of hearts we have. Well, let me think. Because if we have 8 hearts, we'd subtract nothing. If we have 7, we'd just subtract 1 heart. If we have 6 hearts, we'd subtract 2 hearts. 5 hearts, we'd subtract 3 hearts. So we need to just have an equation that crops our sprite for our hearts depending on what our heart level really is. But I think it's, well, let's see. Let's make our sprite sheet here. So if we are 7 by 7? Yeah, we're 7 by 7. So 7 times 7 is 49, plus 1 pixel of buffer between each one. Which is 6 buffers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 49 plus 6. So we should have 55 width. And then 7 on the height. So let's go align our hearts now. Perfect. So the thing is, since each heart is 8 pixels with that one buffer there, I think what we can do, see, and this is tough because it's not as simple as I thought, because we've got to subtract 4 pixels from when we render it to get half of this. So here's what 4 pixels looks like. That's half a heart. If we continue that on and we subtract another 4 pixels, then we do get the next heart. But then we're right here, and if we subtract another 4 pixels, we only cut that much off. We only cut this much off. So we'd have to, every heart needs to get that 1 pixel buffer while we keep shrinking it so that we get our proper half heart ratios. So let's go try if we can see if we can get those heart half decrementing on any sort of variable basis. So like, or I don't even know what to call that, but we're gonna save this as a heart row, and we save it as a PNG, I believe. Let's make sure we did that as a PNG. Heart row, yep, cool. So we can leave this up. We've got to import our heart row so that we can draw it. So we'll go into our dependencies and we'll make sure that we get a heart row. So what I'll do is the lazy thing, which is just substitute art for, we have to do is substitute art for art row. Okay, so now we should have a heart row instead of a heart. Now, I think we're rendering it in our scene. Let's see where we're doing. No, we are not. We are rendering it here in our, no, this was not the thing I wanted. We're rendering it here in our play state. Okay, so let's draw heart row instead and see how that looks. Okay, so we've got a heart row. We've got to move our keylogger so that we don't overlap, but also I think we need to add maybe a pixel or 2 to the left so that it doesn't butt up against. Let's see what 2 pixels looks like. That's too much. Should have just done 1. So 23. Perfect. So let's move our keylogger. Where is our keylogger? Okay. Oh, lucky us. Lucky us. We do have a keylogger offset for our Y. So all we got to do is shift our keylogger Y offset. Oh, I love NeoVim. That's so cool. We just need to shift it up by our HUD, which is 16 more pixels. So we'll just say that this is now 32. So like what was so cool there is like I put my cursor over keylogger. I type GD for go to definition, and we're in our play state now, but GD takes us to the file that we defined this, and then I just changed it right there. So I didn't have to go digging. I just hopped right to it and modified it. And now our keylogger is not on screen because keylogger Y offset is what we are adding. Okay, so I think we just got to take keylogger offset out. Set it to 0. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So now I don't like that it's sitting. Oh, you know what? We need to move our hearts down one pixel as well. So they have that 1 pixel of buffer. So where is our heart row? We'll do it at a screen height limit +1, so it's not butting up against it. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so we've got heart there. Now, I think what we want to do, we want to just figure out how to draw this at half heart increments. And hopefully we can figure out a way to do that smartly based on our real heart. So like, we've got to, I want to see, I know Love.graphics takes in, I know we can do what's called a setting viewport. But I don't know if that, we might be able to get away without doing that. Let's see. If we look at the documentation for lovegraphics.draw, we can see that it takes in an X, a Y, a width, and a height. Oh, lordy. Scale factor, origin offset. Okay, that none of this helps us. So I think we do need our viewport. Quad set viewport. Okay, so we might need a quad then. Because we need to run set viewport on a quad, X, Y, width, height, reference width, reference height. Okay. I think we want to do something with this. X, Y, width, height, and then source width, source height. So let's save our hearts as a quad. Actually, let's just try if we can set the viewport without saving it as a quad. That might save us a step. I don't know if we can do that. But we would draw this exactly where it is. The only difference is we would say love.graphics : set quad. No, we got to run it on our actual drawable. So we'd say heart row : set viewport. And then the viewport is an X, a Y. So we'll say, hey, start at your top, but the width, let's just say the width is only 16. The height is fine to be 7 or whatever it is. And then the source width, source height, we can pass in as heart row. And what we can do is run the get dimensions function, which returns an X and Y of the drawable. So we can say run get dimensions as those two arguments. Let's see if setting the viewport works. No, it doesn't. So we do need to save this as a quad. So let's go to our declarations. No, our dependencies, I guess. I don't know if it makes sense to put these in dependencies, but so I think what we want to do, let's give us this heart row in our G textures. And then we will give us the heart row as a quad here in our G frame. So we'll say we just run the generate quads function and then pass in the global texture of the same name, which is heart row. And then we give it a width and height for the quad, which at the moment, the width would be, what did we say it was, 55? 49 plus 6, so yeah, 55, I guess. So 55 is the starting width of that quad. Now, let's see if instead of drawing our drawable, let's try to draw our quad and see if it's the same exact thing. It should be, hopefully. So instead of this, well, actually, we can comment this out because we'll need something similar. Let's just try to draw at our G textures, at our index heart row, but then at our global frames. Are we allowed to do this at the same heart row? Okay, let's see. Nope, nope, nope. I think we need to index this like so. File height is a nil value. What? Where? Let's take a look in our entity walk state and just see how we're drawing those frames. We're doing a G textures. Oh, it's two arguments. Two arguments. I forgot that the first argument is the drawable, the second argument is the quad. So we can go. Where am I? Where am I? Okay, we're going to our play state. Here we go. Okay, first argument, textures. Second argument, quad. Okay, let's see that. God damn it. Util on 4. Where even is our util? What? Okay, generate quads needs to be given the atlas. That's what we didn't do. Well, no, we did. Let's take a look back at our dependencies. So we've got the image as the atlas here under the G textures. Oh, yeah, this is where we jacked up. We need two values here. We need X and a Y. Okay, let's try that. Motherfucker. Shit. Bad argument 2. Play state 116. Called G frames, right? Heart row. G frames, heart row. It really shouldn't be this hard for me. I am tired, but it shouldn't be this hard. Number expected got table. Generate quads, generate quads. Bad argument 2. Heart row. This is a table instead of... Okay. This is a table instead of a number. What? Okay, I think we need to set... Okay, let's try setting our quad to be... Why can't we do it? Why can't we just draw that? So like if we give this 55, I just don't get it. I need to look at our... Yeah, I'm tired. I'm typing in some bullshit. If we look at our generate quads function, we'll see that it takes in an atlas, and a tile width and a tile height, and the thing it does is return a sprite sheet. Now, what is a sprite sheet? A sprite sheet is an item here, a table, that takes in an index of sheet counter, and it assigns a new quad into that yeah, we're assigning the sheet counter to be equal to this new quad. So it ultimately spits out an X, a Y, a width and a height, and an atlas. And then the X and Y is just different per whatever sprite sheet index. So when we run generate quads, it should save our thing as however many, as an index of different quads of the same sheet. So let's go back to our entity and see how we are drawing them at their quads. Where are we doing it? Our entity walk state. So see how we're drawing at, we give in the texture, and then we give in the quad, but then we do an index of the current frame. So if and I tried passing in an index of 1 and it wasn't working. So we also need an X and a Y. That's okay, we had that. Okay, play state. Okay, here is our heart row, and then we want to go index into the first one. And then it says quad expected got nil. So like, what is this value that we're not getting? Maybe we need to save it. I don't know. I don't know how we have to, if we could save the viewport, like now that this is a quad, maybe we save the viewport. Like this, we say, hey, our heart row drawable. But that's the global, that's the global. That's gonna fuck things up. Okay, so maybe, yeah, maybe we set the draw, or we say G frames of our heart row, and we run set viewport on that bad boy. But see, that is what the quad is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be different widths and heights. So I don't think we want this. We just want... Fuck, man. I guess I don't get why we have to save a quad in order to set a viewport. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But instead of going this route, I'm going to go back. So we don't have... because all this generate quads function does is give us a set amount, an equal amount of tiles, of quads for our texture. And we don't want equal sprites. We want a sprite to be starting one size and then getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So we don't want to really do this. I think what we want to do is save our picture. We'll save it as heart row. And then what we'll do is say a heart row quad. And this is where we can define our graphics.quad. We need to look at our generate quads function, which we can do easy by this. This is what we need to recreate, except we can say that this is love.graphics new quad, and the new quad, it takes in an X, so we can say 0, a Y of 0, a tile width of 55, a tile height of 7, and then a heart row colon get dimensions. Okay. So if we do this, I'm hoping we can draw a heart row quad as is right here in our play state. So we'll go, instead of drawing the texture here, we say the texture's now heart row, and the quad is actually heart row quad, right? And then we're drawing it exactly where we used to be drawing our old thing, 51. We don't need a comma here. Okay, thank God we got that. So now the thing is, can we run a set viewport on this heart row quad and change the size of it? So we're gonna see if we can say, gosh, it's taken us over an hour to get 7 hearts on screen. Okay. So we've got our 7 hearts. So let's see if we can change our heart row quad before we render it. So we're drawing it right here, but we want to love.graphics. No. It is, you take the quad, heart row quad, and you set the viewport. Now we need to look up what the parameters for set viewport are again, because I already forgot. Let's see. Quad set viewport, XY width height, dimensions. Okay. So the X is going to be 0, 0, XY, and then the width. Now this is where we need to modify the width. So like, let's say that the width is 55, so half of that, or let's just cut it to 40 and see if we're drawing it at a smaller quad. So XY width height is going to be unchanged at 7, and then the dimensions are going to be unchanged at heart row colon get dimensions. Okay, and then okay, so it looks like we did chop off some of the hearts there. So if we were to change this even higher, we're chopping off more. That's great. So what we need to do is set our viewport for our hearts based on our actual player heart health. So what we're gonna do is give our player 14 health, and then we're gonna decrement it to 0 and then back up to 7 so that we can practice rendering these different stages of hearts. So let's go to our player, and our player will have Yeah, I think our player will have a self dot half hearts. And we're going to set it equal to 14. Now in our play state here, we can go ahead. We want to render how many hearts we've got as a string. So we're going to go back here. We're going to test up a print just so we can see test. We can say 0, 0 just because we want to make sure the render order is working. Okay, so where our Tashio Tempo is, we want to just cut that out for the moment so that we can draw a heart beneath it. So what we're going to do is say hearts. We're going to say half hearts gets a toString number of our, now this is in our play state, so we have to access our scene. So scene view, then go into our player, and then go into that player's half hearts. And then render or draw. Yeah, we want our X to be some sort of virtual width minus maybe 40, I don't know. And then this can be screen height limit, and we'll see what that gets us for our hearts. Hopefully we see 14. 118 is issue. We forgot to close this. Motherfucker. We didn't concatenate. Okay. Half hearts, yeah, we need an X of a lot smaller. Or, yeah. Let's see what negative 90 gets us. Gosh, it's so big. 130. Cool. Just shift us down a bit. We're getting the right number, so that's good. We're going to say maybe +5. Okay, so now we're going to cycle our half hearts so that we can see how many lives we actually have. So in our player, we need to set a timer. Yeah, we need to set a timer. In our player, we're going to have a heart timer. It's going to be equal to 1 second. So all we've got to do is say if self.heart timer is greater than 0, then we're going to go ahead and decrement our heart timer by delta time. And then we're going to say if heart timer is smaller than or equal to 0, then we're going to decrement our heart with one exception if our heart is already 0. So we're going to say if self.hearts if self.half hearts is what we want to say here is if we don't have a half heart to take, so if our self.half hearts is equal to 1, we only have one half heart, then we're going to start incrementing our number instead of decrementing it. Now, yeah, this isn't so clean. It's like we've got to, I don't know of a good way of doing this, but we'll say self.decrement is true. And we'll only decrement if it is also a self-decrement, because we need to be able to flip to incrementing. And then if we have to say here and our self-decrement. Okay, so if our half hearts is 1, then we're actually going to become no longer decrement. So we're going to say decrement gets false. okay. Then otherwise, we would want to say if we have anything more than 1 half heart health, then we need to take away one of our half hearts. So we do that by saying self half hearts gets our current self half hearts minus 1. Now that'll cover decrementing, it should at least. Let's see if we are working at 14. We need to set our heart timer equal to a heart timer decremented by delta time. So wow, that decremented real quick because we didn't reset our timer. So we're gonna set our timer there. If heart timer is smaller than or equal to 0, we need to reset our heart timer to its default, which is 1. So it can decrement again. So let's see it count down. Nice, nice, cool. So that'll count down. It should stop at 0 because as soon as we're, as soon as we have 1 half heart, we no longer are decrement, and then we shouldn't be decrementing our timer, and we shouldn't be decrementing our hearts. But we've got to, if we're incrementing, then we need to do something similar, and we can say if self dot heart timer is greater than 0 and not self decrement, meaning we're incrementing, then we need to go ahead and start to increment. So we need to, and actually we still need to, we need to increment our hearts, but we still need to count down our heart timer. So we still say, hey, we still need this heart timer so that we can keep track of when to give us a heart back, but we need to what do we need to do? Our heart timer's smaller than 0, and we're not decrementing, then we're gonna still deduct our time. So we can do this a little differently, yeah. We don't have to do this twice. We know we need to reset our heart timer no matter what. So if our heart timer is greater than 0, we're gonna decrement it, and then we need to say if our heart timer is smaller than or equal to 0, and we're decrementing, go ahead and take out our heart, take out 1 heart, and then we need to say, yeah, if our heart timer is smaller than 0 and not self-decrement, then we gotta reset our timer. So we say self.heart timer gets reset to 1. And then we need to say if we have max hearts, if half hearts is equal to 14, then we're gonna become self-decrement gets true. Okay. So if we're at 14, self-decrement gets true, and then otherwise we need to add a half heart. So we would say half hearts gets self half hearts plus 1. Now let's go start our hearts at 3 so we don't have to wait for 14 to count down before we see if it's wrong. 3, 2, 1 should go back up to 2, and it is going back up to 2. It does get stuck at 1 though. I want to make sure it goes down from 14, so it should hit 14 and then come back down. It does wait an extra beat. That's almost right though, because we just want to it's almost like Yeah, okay, so I think we want to set... Decrement gets false, okay. Then the next one, I think we might want to set our timer to 0 here. Let me see. Now it's still... I'm not sure why it's pausing when it gets to 1. It should go 1 back up to 2 right away. If it's smaller than or equal to 0, and we're decrementing, go ahead, set our timer to 1. We have 1 heart become undecrementing, so that in the very next frame, it would have just reset its heart timer. And then it would decrement it, and then it would say not. So if it is smaller than 0 and not decrement. I don't know why it pauses at 1. I feel like it shouldn't. This is totally unnecessary. I don't need to worry about this kind of stuff because we're not even using this. So let's, like, we're just using this to adaptively size our quad for our hearts. Now for now, we're going to actually code this at 7. So now we should have it go from 7 half hearts down to 1 and then back up to 7. And then we need to change our quads based on how many half hearts we have. Yeah. Okay. So it really bugs me that it pauses at 1. I don't know how to get it to not do that. I guess because it's... Oh, and you know what? If we're at 7 half hearts already, I think we want to subtract 1 half heart already. Let's do this for the counting down first. So if we're equal to 1, we're going to go ahead and give us a heart right away. Self dot half hearts gets 1. Okay, let's see. If we should hit 1 and go right up to 2. Nice. That is better to me. And then we need to do the same with this, where we say A instead of a plus, U gets subtracted, and now we should there. Now, anytime we reset this, yeah. I don't think we need anything faster than this. Actually, I kind of want it to be faster. So what we'll do is say we'll local heart speed 0.5. We initialize to our heart speed. And then we reset to our heart speed. And we reset here to our heart speed. Cool. So now we've got cycling from 1 hearts to 7 hearts. Now we're not changing the rendering yet, but that's what we're going to change right here. So what we need to do is shrink this viewport depending on how many hearts we've got, but it's like an inverse relationship. So it's like when we have 7 hearts, we need to have the quad 0, the viewport 0. Well, no, viewport full. Yeah, what am I thinking? Okay, I think this will be easy. Famous last words, right? So we're gonna go to our play state here. Cool. So instead of setting our viewport to a number like this, 20, we need to set it to heart crop or something. And then in our play state here, we can set our heart crop to be equal to, and it'll start at full heart. So it'll be 55. So it'll start there. So if we're drawing it at heart crop and we set our heart crop to 55, we've got all hearts. Now if we take out 7, so go down to a 48, we should have one less heart. So like 48 is one less heart. Yes. Okay, so if we go back, so now all we have to do is change heart crop dependent on the amount of hearts we have, which, since it should be easy. It should be easy because all we have to do is it's tough because the first one has to be minus 7. You know what? We might need to add one more pixel of empty to our... I think we need to add one pixel of empty to our heart row. Because right now, there's 3 pixels to cut off the first half heart. And then if we do, like, say we have that, this, like, we're like, oh, we need another 3 to kill this. Then it's 4. Okay. But if we had 4, let's say there was an extra gap there. There's 4, then we do another 4. Yeah, that's the secret. And then we do another 4. Yeah, that's it. So we need to add 1 pixel here. So we'll go to our canvas size and we'll go not 55, but 56. We'll make sure we've got that extra pixel. And then we will save it as our new heart row, PNG. And then we should be getting dimensions for it. I don't think we have a hard-coded 55. Oh God. We do have a hard-coded 55 here. So we'll just make sure that's 56. And then we'll make sure that our heart crop is 56. Now nothing should have changed. All we did was add a blank pixel. But what that allows us to do is to say, hey, -4 to get half a heart. Perfect. Then we can say, hey, minus a 4 times 2 to get us minus a whole heart. Yes. And then when we times it by times 3, it should be a heart and a half gone. Yes, that's looking right. So what we need to do is like invert, because the relationship here is like the bigger this number, the smaller our hearts are. So we need to convert -1 is 1 heart health gone. So it's like we need to have like a total health. Total health, which is 7. It's actually 14 because there's half hearts. So we say total health is 7. Now if we, and then we have like our actual self.player half hearts field, which is how many hearts they have. We should probably just call it health. Let's go do that. So what I'm going to do is search the whole file for any reference of a dot half hearts. And we're going to replace it with health, self, yeah, okay, half hearts. Oh lordy. Replace it with a dot health globally. Okay, so now we have a dot health now in our play state. Play state. Where is our half hearts? We're doing this. So half hearts, we're going to change to health. And then self.player health. Now I'm going to do a quick search. Well, I'm going to do a quick search for any reference of half heart to make sure we took it out. We did not. We've got a bunch in our player. So where is it? Half. Oh, and you know what? It always says that until we kind of... It'll say that in our grep until we kind of reset it here. Half heart. Cool. Cool. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. We almost got working hearts. We're gonna be... So now, okay, let's go back to our logic here in our play state where we say, okay, we've got this. Now we need this to minus nothing. So like we need to save our I want to say something like, because we need to say that our, for example, when we lose 1 health, so when our actual health is 1 difference from our total health, this needs to be a 1. So it's like, what word do we save that as a variable? It needs to be like, we need to save the difference so that we know how to draw the hearts. So I guess total health, it's just our health. So like we would say now that we've got a total health, we need to set this equal to, okay, so what we'll do is we'll default it to 56. Now we need to use our self.health info and our total health to reset this local variable depending on our hearts. So all we have to do is say our heart crop, and actually we need to set our it's like health difference, or what can we call it? We need to call it something like it's what our heart crop becomes, but we need to modify our heart crop by this value. So it's like, I guess health difference is fine, because that's literally what it is. So we'll say there's no health difference at the beginning, but in our update, we're going to say, okay, now we need to set our health difference to be equal to whatever our total health can be minus our actual, and this is in our play state, so we got to access our scene, go into our player, go into their health, and that's the difference. And now we need to set our heart crop to be equal to itself minus a 4 pixels for a half heart times our health difference. Now, that should be all we need to get our hearts rendering. Okay. Let's see here. We're subtracting that every single frame, which we don't want to do. Wow, that was wild. Okay, so we only need to decrement, we only need to calculate our health difference anytime our health is changed. So instead of putting it here, we need to put it anytime our health actually changes, which okay, I think we might need this as a global. I don't like doing this, but we'll see. So let's go to our player. Now our player is what is gonna remove our hearts. So look, anytime we decrement or increment our heart here, so like we're getting a heart, yeah, anytime our health is different, then we need to change our heart crop. So we need to say our health difference at this point becomes what our total health is minus our actual health. And then we need to set our heart crop to be equal to itself minus that heart difference. Now we need to do this anytime we change our health. So we could probably turn this into a function, but for right now, it's not quite right. Yeah, it is not right. So maybe we don't need it here. That's wrong. That's way wrong. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, it's times 4. 4 times our health difference. I mean, I feel like that would make it worse. We're jacked up. We're jacked up. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so that's working. Now what isn't working is every time we decrement a health, what we really should be doing is saying our heart crop gets, it's not this, it's our total heart. That's what it is. We need to go, it's like our original heart crop range, which is 56. So I guess for right now we can say, hey, we're 56 minus our, and we need to calculate this heart difference, health difference gets our total health subtracted by our current health. And then we need to subtract a 4 times our health difference from 56, not from what our heart crop was. Now we need to do this anytime we change our heart. So we need to do it here, we need to do it here, we need to do it here. Oh shit. That's working. It's working. What we fucked up was we only gave us 7 hearts to start. So if we give this 14 and we say 14 here. Look at our hearts. Now we've got half hearts for however many health we have. That's cool. So now we not only added health to our character, but however many health we have is how many hearts we have on our HUD. Now eventually this is going to change. We're going to have ultimately, like in the example HUD over here, our hearts are going to keep their outline. So we need to render these outlines regardless. But what's tricky is we need to only render the outlines if we have that many hearts in the first place. So I think what I want to do, at least for now, is just give us an outline of the hearts so that we can render at least those. We'll go to paint bucket. No, we'll go to magic wand. Okay, I don't know. Where's the magic wand? Okay, it's in selection, which I guess makes sense. I think I might like, is it weird to keep the bottom red like that instead of fully blank? I'm going to see what that looks like because I'm kind of curious about what that might look like if we keep that. So we're going to go save as heart row empty. Cool. So what we'll do is import into our dependencies a new heart image called heart row empty, and we'll go find this empty. Now all we need to do is render this whole drawable right before we draw the other one, so that we'll render the empty hearts as they get erased. So we'll put it in our play state. Play state. Where are we? Okay. When we render our heart row, before we render our heart row, we're going to render our graphics.draw heart row empty first. We're going to draw it at the exact X and Y of our other stuff. Oh my gosh, my eyes are killing me. I think I just need sleep. Oh, nice. See, I don't know if I like the red staying there. It's kind of interesting. I think I might keep it until I decide I don't like it. I kind of like it. because it's not completely empty. Now, the only thing is, we'd have to turn this into a quad if we want to chop it to the max health that the player has. So, like, if the player only has 3 hearts, we're not going to show 7 hearts empty, because you can't even get that many hearts yet. So, like, we're going to add... Gosh, yeah, I need to take a nap or something. I'm liking that, though. So now that we've got health for our player, god damn it. Now that we've got health for our player, we can add collision detection for our entities and our player to not only trigger the flashing, but to do a knockback to us and take out some of our heart. But now we've got our hearts dynamically rendering based on our health, which is perfect. That's great. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Cool. That is a solid effort. I think before we move on, though, I think we should functionalize our health difference here. So this is the same code, so we can go use it elsewhere. We can define it here, and we can say function update parts, and it doesn't take in anything. All it does is take your health difference, which is a global, and do this. So anytime we have this 2-line of code, all we do is say update hearts, and then that's all we gotta do. And then hopefully we didn't screw anything up by doing that. I don't think we did. SP crash. Self.health. What? You don't have a self.health. You don't have a self.health. I think we need to pass in. We'll pass in the player. So all we have to do is pass in self into here. Should be one more. We need it here too. Nice. So we've got a little function that handles that for us. And then now we have just adaptive parts for our game. That's cool. So now that we actually have health, now when we add collision detection, well, we can subtract from our health, which we have to add knockback, we have to add flashing, which we've already got functions for in our entity. So I think we can literally go, if we wanted to, into our scene here. And I think what we can do is after we actually, since we don't change our flashing, well, let me see, in our entity, do we change our flashing in the init? No, we don't. So I'm wondering if we go to where we instantiate our player in our scene, which is where? Oh, come on, where do we do it? Play state? Yeah, play state. So look, if we go say here, flashing gets true, and we have to do one more step actually, which is, what are you doing? True. Okay, flashing gets true, and then in our entity class, we make sure to set our flashing based on, we don't have flashing here, so we do have to say self.flashing gets either the defined amount of flashing or nil or false. Or false. Well, Well, I thought that would make us flashing, but that's just making us red. Maybe just... Why are we not flashing? Oh, it's because we're not... I think we're handling our flashing based on corruption, too. No, damage flash timer we need. Okay, we need a damage flash timer. And duration. Oh, we do. We do have that. So why are we not flashing? Damage flash is not true. So it's not flashing, it's damage flash. So we need to say damage flash in our entity init here. Which is in our play state. So we need to say damage flash. Flashing is the boolean whether or not we're literally flashing. So since we were flashing true, that was just a red. So now that we're damage flash gets true, as long as when we go to our... What is it? Play state. No. It's in our entity. There we go. Yeah, here we set our damage flash to actually false upon the init. Let me see what that does. Yeah, that overwrites us as... So maybe after we init in our scene, I just want to see the player flashing just to kind of see what it looks like. In our play state, after we init, we're gonna go set our self.player.damage flash be equal to true. Okay. Booyah. So yeah, that's all we gotta do is just become damage flash. So all we gotta do is detect collision from an entity, and if we collide, we need to become damage flashing, which means we can't collide with another enemy until we're done flashing, and give us a knockback, clamp our X and Y position, and decrement our health by 1, and that will handle the half heart health decrement on screen there. That's going to be fun. Cool, so I'll turn this off for now, and we'll just commit here. We'll do, actually, what is going on? I think we added 2 pictures, a heart row and a heart row empty. And then we added a health, a heart speed, a health timer, a decrement, changing our health so that we can preview the sprites. We gave us a heart crop, which changes the quad rendering on our heart quad. A total health, a health difference, so that we can calculate which part to crop our hearts at. Then we're rendering those things. So yeah, it's basically just adding our dynamic heart rendering based on health. But there we go, we'll push it and we'll call it a night. Yo, Atronics, thanks for hanging. My pal Rough Cookie is streaming. I don't know if you want to raid. It's just you in here or your computer's just on, but we're gonna go raid Rough Cookie because he has a fun little stream and he's a big supporter of the channel. So, hey, you're totally welcome, dude. Thanks for keeping me company. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good night, man. I'll catch you later.